Mary, you're very welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all. Good form now. Touch of spring in the air and the sun is shining and
No storms.
yeah, storms are over. And speaking of sunshine, I know we're going to be talking about tans and big news on the tanning world, but we'll come to that later. Mary, we thought we might talk about nails a little bit this month. And first of all, I suppose, can you talk to me just a little bit about the maintenance of them and, you know, the products that strengthen them and looking after them and cuticles and all of that, first of all?
Right. I suppose that what we would have said about nail care before has completely changed now because we're using so much hand sanitizer all the time. The actual components that make our nails lovely and hard, the bonds that are kind of sealing them, are starting to have an effect on people's nails where they find they just cannot grow them anymore. People who never had issues with their nails are now finding they're having issues with their nails. And I think it's probably like 2 years of using hand sanitizer constantly is going to have an effect on both our skin, but mostly I suppose on our nails because it's probably just staying on that surface of the nails. So in the beauty world, if there's an issue, there's always a solution. These companies are ready to jump in and find the solution straight away. So Essie, which is like a really well-known brand, have brought out two brand new strengtheners for that purpose alone of the bonds being broken in your nails. And with other you'd have to use them for a while before you start seeing a difference in the growth of the nails. You can see a difference with this within 3 days. So they have two different.
That's pretty dramatic, isn't it?
It is. Now, Essie is like, they've been known before for their amazing colors. Like if you were ever looking for a color to go to a wedding, Essie has like the most unusual greens or purples or blues. So you'd always find a color to match the dress, the hat, the shoes, whatever you wanted. But when they do things, they do them really well. So when it comes to like strengthening the nails, this is they've put all their research into this. So there's one with a little glow and it's called Hard to Resist. They've got great names for all their nail varnishes as well. So this is really good for anybody who just wants to have a kind of a nice glow to the nail and want to make it hard. But the other one, which is purpley color, is for anybody who has kind of a yellow tinge to the nail. So if you use a lot of nail varnish, it does tend to discolor the nails, especially on the toenails. So it's really good to always use a base coat before you put on a strong color. And at the moment, like all those real vibrant colors are in those bright yellows and greens. So what will happen is nail varnishes will start to follow suit. So when there's that much pigment in the nail varnishes, you need to put on that clear section first underneath it just to protect the nail. But having a good nail, like really making sure this is really strong. And I suppose like a good way to get into kind of keeping those cuticles, because people are finding the cuticles are getting really broken down at the sides and they're just getting really sore. So having a good cuticle oil just to massage around it, just even when you're using hand sanitizer, just to put on a little bit of cuticle oil on just to keep the nails if you really want to get them strong for that occasion. And I think we were talking before that the nail business is massive, you know, where people are getting the acrylics and the gels and all sorts of different types of, you know, like they want their extensions or they just want their own nails to look really well. And nails are really, really long. And I remember I was killed at the start of the pandemic of saying people should cut their nails.
Yeah.
And I was nearly lynched by the crowds.
By the nail people.
Yeah. But it was very true because they do hold bacteria, you know, so like the shorter your nails, you know, like in a lot of professions, the shorter your nails, you know, are the better it is for like from a hygiene point of view. Yeah. But a lot of people who are totally addicted to getting the gels the whole time, they do need a break. You need to kind of let your own nails strengthen again. So something like taking the nails off and getting a good hardener and just putting it on a regular basis. And to do like, there's a little part under your nail called the free edge. Put the hardener under that as well, because that's where the nail tends to break. And like to not use your nails as tools, you know, for if you're scrubbing saucepans or you're doing anything like that, not to be getting off, you know, put on the gloves when you're doing
the rubber gloves, like, the old marigolds, huh?
Marigolds, yeah.
I want to ask you as well, I personally know I'd be familiar with shellac nails, and I think most people listening would be, but what are the other options that you can get to make your nails look good? I know there's the ones you can buy in pennies for €3 and they put glue in your nails and stick them on and they look like talons. I presume they're not necessarily too good for your nails.
No, I remember from kind of salon days, like the old-fashioned regular manicure. you can't beat it. So like if you have, say, like you know you have a load of weddings coming up this year that have been postponed, and you really don't want to go down the route of you want your own natural nails, going in once every 4 weeks to have a good manicure where they're going to do the cuticles for you. They're going to, you know, they're going to file your nail. Like a lot of people, when it comes to nails, they file them in the wrong direction. They use it like it's a saw, whereas you really need to follow your natural line from kind of side to side. And like anything with your kind of beauty, the more gentle you are, the better it is. So like coming in the evening and just going like a saw with your nail isn't going to be great. So very gentle filing. And when I suppose if you go for a couple of manicures, you'll see what they do, and you'll see, you know, what the correct way to do with the, you know, your nail care, and using your, like definitely using your hand cream every evening, and especially putting it in all around the cuticles, and like making sure that, you know, your diet is good as well. That has a huge effect on your nails. And it's like, it's a real sign of your good well-being. If your nails are in good, you know, nice and strong, it's a sign that everything is working right.
Exactly. And Mary, I suppose the other thing is, while we're talking about nails, we can talk about hands. And they always say that your hands can really tell your age. And I don't know, was it Madonna or somebody who had a lot of Botox on their face and their body was all sculptured, and then there was a shot of their hands and they were all so wrinkled. So I think we forget to look after our hands as we age. A lot of us do anyway. I certainly do.
Yeah, and I think it's an area that, you know, you put on your sunscreen and you think, okay, this is going to stop any age spots or any kind of, you know, imperfections on the nails. It's great just to put a little bit on the hands as well. Just so that you're, because like your face and your hands, when even say like now, you know, like it's like jumpers and everything else is covered over, our hands and our face are completely exposed. So like protecting them with a little bit of SPF and giving them a little bit of, you know, TLC makes such a difference, because they do tend to, I mean, like we're using the hands, we're washing, we're cleaning, we're doing all sorts of things. They do need a little bit of TLC to keep the skin, because they're no other part of us being washed as much at the moment as our poor little hands.
Yeah. Just coming back to what you can get done for your nails, if you don't want to go down the shellac route, is there still such a thing as a French manicure? You know, the lovely shine with little white tips. Can you still get that done?
Yeah, it's still back in, and like you can have that, you know, and it's great, but you do need to have your nails a certain length for that, because if they're too short, it's going to draw attention to them, that, you know, how short they are. You do need a bit of length for the French manicure. But definitely keeping the nail hardeners on, and not using harsh products like, you know, like a non-acetone nail varnish remover. Because like anybody who'd have maybe a big bottle of nail varnish remover, the acetone does strip the natural nails. And when people are trying to get off the shellacs, it's the acetone that you put on to kind of remove the bond. So everything should be as gentle as possible, non-acetone, not too many chemicals, and just keeping the hardeners on and making sure that they're well protected every time you're kind of, you know, get out the gloves and use definitely nighttime. I'm a great believer in the cotton gloves at nighttime with a bit of oil and a bit of, you know, your hand moisturizer, put them on to get your nails and your hands back in fabulous condition. Very quick.
I'm just seeing on the screen here, there's a question in from a listener who wants to know, how much of a break should you give your nails in between shellac treatments?
Yeah, I would definitely give about 6 weeks in between, to let them kind of get back to their own natural form. And I suppose it's the same with lashes and things like that. So like give them just that couple of weeks where you are giving them tender love and care. And then you're good to go in. And like people are like, it's, you know, people say to me, I can't go without having my nails done. I work in a shop, you know, from people coming in and out all the time, they're always admiring my nails. And it makes me feel good about myself, so I'm not going to stop. And, you know, like that's absolutely perfect as well, if that's, you know, what you want to do. But just keep the cuticles and the hand cream going to maintain it. But if you can, a break is good.
Okay, another question in, this is from Teresa, and she wants to know, could Mary recommend any product to make my nails grow a bit more? They're very short at the moment, but I'd like to get them long for my holidays.
Yeah, so this would definitely be the SE one. So it's hard to resist. So like, I mean, there'd be like things like Sally Hansen, you know, people that would be kind of always known for being good nail hardeners, but I found this really good because it just works so fast. So Hard to Resist by Essie.
Hard to Resist by Essie, is that spelled ESSIE?
Yep, exactly.
A funny one for you, Mary. A Lixna listener wants to know, could Mary recommend anything to make my husband stop biting his nails? Do you remember there was stuff you could paint on years ago, and you'd go to bite your nails and you'd go, you know?
Yeah, that's still on the market.
Is it?
And would you believe that from years of doing manicures, people who bite their nails actually have the strongest nails when they let them grow, because what happens is your nails go into shock from all the biting. And when you do let them grow, they're so hard, because you know, it's like cutting your hair and it gets really strong. It's the exact same with your nails, because they're both keratin in your hair and in your nails. So when you cut them really short, and that's actually a really good tip as well, if they keep breaking, keep them as short as possible for as long as you can, and that will help strengthen them as well.
And we better ask you as well about shades that are in nail polish for the spring summer of 2022. Did you say yellow? I'm not sure if I could get my head around yellow nail polish, Mary. Have you tried it?
No, but those neon colors are all in, like the bright oranges, the bright greens, and the bright yellows. I think it's kind of like we're all back living again, and we're, you know, embracing life. That's my own take on it now, but it seems to be like these mad party colors out there, like not for everybody, but it seems to be. But then, like, I would love, like, coming in, I love those pastel shades of, you know, those lovely colors that come in every summer. I think they always look really well, and they're really nice on short nails as well, because they can just, I suppose, like when your nails are short, if they look, the color is nice and your nails are well groomed, it looks perfect. You don't have to have big long talons to be in fashion. Once your nails are in good condition, they look well.
Just before we leave the whole subject of nails and hands and everything, any particular favorite hand cream, Mary?
At the moment, I love the Nux hand cream. I just love their kind of their body care and their fragrances. But I find their hand cream at the moment is what I'm using. I just like their hand cream. But then for anybody, a load of people have been on with saying that their skin has never been so irritated and they can't use anything with perfume. So like your likes of Avène and La Roche-Posay never have been so popular. Bioderma, all those hand creams that are really kind of not just for kind of to make your hands nice and pretty, but because your hands are sore and you need to actually do something to heal them.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we better take a break at this stage, Mary. Stay with us, and just to remind everyone, stay with us on Facebook as well. We have a second part of Mary's monthly beauty spot coming up. She's got big news on the tanning front to share with us. She's going to be telling us about new beauty launches. And as always, if you have a question for her, send it in to us on 083 300 3300. You're listening to Tuesday's Talkabout here on Radio Kerry with me, Deirde Walsh, and beauty expert Mary O'Donnell. And we're back in just a moment. And you're very welcome back to this month's beauty spot with Mary O'Donnell. Now, Mary, we were talking about nails before the break, but you're going to talk to us a little bit about tanning, because I believe there's been big news on the tanning front.
Yeah, we talked about this a good while ago, that it was starting to come in, that there was a bit of a panic going on, where the dark tans were going to be gone off the market. We were never going to get them again. And there was a bit of a panic buy of tans, and we were laughing about it, and we were saying, "Oh, this is mad." And I was telling you that I knew a Listowel mum with 4 girls who they were nearly bulk buying tan, because they just could not go outside the door. The 4 girls were just obsessed with having the tans done, and they were going around from town to town buying tans so that they'd have enough of them. So the big date, anyway, when it's all going to be gone, is the 22nd of April. So what it is, it's the darker tans have more DHA in it. So it's like it's a carbon sugar that makes your skin turn dark. So a lot of people like that dark color. It's the most popular tan in Ireland, the darker it is. So they have just decided that it's going to be off the market. That chemical reaction from it, they're just out of safety, because, you know, I mean, if you've been using it for years, it's probably fine. But they have taken a stance that the dark ones are coming off the market. So at the moment, all the dark tans are reduced to, you know, to nearly nothing. But they will not be available after the 22nd of April. They'll be gone. Okay,
so if you only get a slight bit of a tan from your tanning product, those are still going to be there, are they?
Yeah. But the issue is that a load of people, the darker the better. And they've been used to using. So there's a major panic going on in the world of tanning at the moment.
I know. It all goes over my head, you see, because I don't use fake tan. So, but I can appreciate. I know that the younger generation, the girls in their 20s now, they just love it. And, you know, to each his own.
You know, and so like things where they go in and they'd say, you know, I want to spray tan, I want it as dark as possible. Same thing. It's a new law where the amount is now going to control what's in the tan. So I suppose the big ones that are being known for their kind of like the dark colors would be Dripping Gold, which would be Sosu tan. So that will, the dark one will be gone. Iconic Bronze. So everybody will have their favorite dark one. Bellamiante, again, just the darkness in it. And Bondi Sands, they would be known for the ones that deliver the real darkness to the skin. So they'll be gone, but the ones lower down, the medium and the light, will still be in existence. But there'll be a big change in the tanning world when that, you know, the black market is going to start up on the
literally the black market. And Mary, the companies like Benemiante and you mentioned Sosumi there as well, Dripping Gold, which I know is very popular because I think you can get that in pennies. But are they going to relaunch with the chemical taken out, or is that possible, or what will happen?
No, I'd say it'll just be like that, you know, it'll have to be medium. And I mean, it's going to be ages because they're all half price now, because they're going to be like they can't stock them on the shelves from the 22nd of April. So all the pharmacies nationwide are selling them off because they'll have to take them. If they're not sold by April, they'll be dumped. So like people will stock up. But the only thing I'd just say to people is be careful, because they do have an expiry date, you know, so you like by hundreds of them, you're not, you know, you're more likely to have a chemical reaction from an expiry than the dark tan, in my opinion.
Okay, I gotcha. Now you're going to talk to us a little bit about new products and launches, and again, great to see things opening up and lots of new beauty products being launched for the summer, I would imagine.
Yeah, so I think now, like, because I kind of know our listeners and I know what they like, and there's 3 fabulous launches, 2 that really now have taken my eye, that I think people are going to be very, very interested in. So this was launched yesterday. This is Lancome, right? And this is a triple serum. So like if you think of Clarins double serum, Lancome have brought out the triple serum, okay? So it was launched yesterday, and I've had this now for the last 2 weeks. And I can honestly say the difference after 2 nights of using it was phenomenal. And I have never said that before about any product.
In what way?
Because that's what I've been to, like, it was to the launch of it, and if you hear about all the different things that are in it, because you have like your vitamin B, you have you have this hyaluronic acid, and you have something that works on dark spots. So it's 3 different actions on the skin. So you kind of know, you hear all this and you think, okay, it's great. It's going to, you know, do kind of 3. If your skin is dry, it's dehydrated, you're kind of worried about age spots. You know, it's a serum and a serum. And like their serums are very good. Like Lancome do good serums, but the glow off your skin of just, it looks much better.
Radiant.
So I was expecting kind of like a few weeks, and that I'd be able to say, come back and say, well, look, I'll tell you how it was. After two nights of using it, I went, oh my God, what's different to my skin? It's just, there was just a real glow to it. It felt softer, it looked clearer, it looked brighter. Huge difference to the skin only after 2 nights.
Oh, that's amazing. And what else have you got? So that's called Lancome Triple Serum?
So it's the new Regenerate Triple Serum. It was launched yesterday. It was available only yesterday in the pharmacies, and absolutely highly recommend this one. But the second one that I was as equally impressed with was the new Clarins Lumere night. So it's for your daytime. There's a nighttime version and daytime. But the daytime one, so it's the outside is purple and the inside is purple. So for anybody who finds, you know, as you get older, that lovely glow to your skin is because your skin is all different colors from years of, you know, whatever. It just puts the glow back into your skin, and it unifies all that color. So, you know, when you put on your foundation and you're all one color again, and you look much better than when you weren't one color. This moisturizer does that to your skin. So it's really, like, it's very, very clever. It's like a moisturizer that works like a foundation.
Okay.
And that just was launched as well. And they have fabulous essence, which is like similar to a toner, but you use it with a toner and you use it before you put this on, and that is phenomenal as well. So Clarins and Lancome, massive launches. And then for kind of like thinking about price pocket, L'Oreal have brought out a really good eye cream called Revitalift Filler. And it's for dark circles and puffiness, and really good as well. So there's 3 huge launches that happened in the last few weeks.
Brilliant. Okay, so lots happening on the beauty front. And are there any events coming up, or is it still a bit soon for events?
Yeah, events are, like, even say now all the launches I've been to are all online. There's been
all online still. Yeah.
Online. And something that people would be like, you know, how we were talking about, so Sue and her followers, and they love what she does. There's a great blogger in Cork called Dr. Doreen O'Leary. And she does kind of everything from kind of like, she's great with kind of skin, she's great with kind of kids stuff. And she's just brought out a whole new vitamin range. So she's like, I think about over 180,000 followers in Ireland. And she's really fabulous. She's really good at what she does. So kind of from your vitamin D to your kind of omegas, all a brand new range, and anything that she seems to do, she does really well. So this is one to look out for as well. Dr. Doreen O'Leary.
Dr. Doreen O'Leary. Okay, that's fantastic. Mary, just before we finish up with you, a lot of people getting in touch wanting to know where they can get the SC nail products. I presume that's CH, but and probably other places as well around the county.
Absolutely, and the same with the Lancome and the my new baby from Clarins. They're all new launches in CH.
Oh, super. That's great. Well, listen, thank you for telling us that, and fascinating to hear about the tanning products and loads of great information about the nails there. Mary, we're going to have to let you go, but thank you so much for everything. Great stuff as usual this month, and we look forward to catching up with you very soon.